Aloha and welcome to Robin's Craft Room. Today I'm going to show you how to make a never-ending or endless card. The reason it's called that is because you can keep opening it and opening it and opening it until you get tired of it. I'll show you with this card that's on the table in front of me. Here's the front. I can open it in the middle and then open it in the middle again and back to the original direction and then open it, and we're back at the beginning. So you can see, I can keep opening this until I get tired of doing it. These are the supplies that you're going to need to make your never-ending card. The first thing is a Fiskars cutter with the scoring blade inserted, some adhesive, and I'm using Stampin' Up's Snail Mono Adhesive for this project, a bone folder, and I'm using a Stampin' Up bone folder, and 4 pieces of cardstock. The 4 pieces of cardstock do not have to be any particular size. They do all have to be the same size, and they have to have this one characteristic, that the width is exactly half the length. The first step in today's project is to score each piece of the cardstock twice, once from each short end, and the distance is 1/4 the length of the paper. In today's project, my paper is 6 inches long by 3 inches wide, and so the distance from the edge of the paper to the scoring is 1.5 inches. So let's get this scored. I'm going to set this at the 1.5 inch mark and score. I'll be showing you some pieces with some dashed lines pretty soon, so you can see a little bit more clearly where the scoring is. And now I'm going to score it on the other end, and we have our first piece scored. Now that I have all 4 pieces of paper scored, I'm ready to put the card together. To help show you what I'm doing, I've numbered each piece of paper from 1 to 4 on both the front and the back of each piece. As we go through the folding process, you'll be able clearly to see which sides of which piece you're viewing. To begin, lay pieces 1 and 2 on the table next to each other. Apply adhesive to the 4 outside corners of this grouping. The adhesive should be applied from the short end of each piece up to the scoring line and the same distance up to the middle of the short edge. You can use the markings on your cutting board or your grid paper to show you where you should apply the adhesive. In this case, it's 1.5 inches in both directions. The next step is to lay pieces 3 and 4 on top of and perpendicular or crossways to the piece 1 and 2 group. I usually start by adhering piece 3 very carefully to one corner of piece 1, and then the rest of the process falls into place nicely. So we'll just put that on there. Make sure I've got piece 4 tucked in, piece 2, and it's going to go nicely into place. And then we're going to put piece 4 in. Now we're ready to start folding. Step 1 is to fold piece 3 to my right and piece 4 to my left, making the first opening in the card. Press the folds with the bone folder. And now you see that we have the front of pieces 1 and 2 showing, as well as the sides of the back of pieces 3 and 4. The second step is to fold piece 2 down and to the back of the card, and piece 1 up and to the back of the card. Again, press the phones with the bone folder. At this point, you are looking at the full squares that are the backs of pieces 3 and 4, as well as the 4 corners of pieces 1 and 2 that were not glued back at the beginning. I know you're not going to believe this, but we've pressed the last of the folds. We're now going to be unfolding the card. Unfold the card first by turning piece 3 to the back on my right and piece 4 to the back on my left. Now we're looking at the entire backs of pieces 1 and 2. The final step is to unfold the card by turning piece 2 to the bottom back of the card and piece 1 to the back of the card on the top. Speaking of back, we're back to the beginning of the card. Now let's go back and look quickly at that card that I showed at the beginning of the video. Here we have the card with pieces 3 and 4 on the front. We're going to open it up, and there are the sides of pieces 3 and 4 on the back and the front squares of pieces 1 and 2. And now we see the whole of the middle squares of the back of pieces 3 and 4 and those little corners of pieces 1 and 2 that are in the back, the ones that were not glued together. And now we go back and see the entire back of pieces 1 and 2 and back to the beginning where we're seeing the front of pieces 3 and 4. I prefer to decorate these cards after I put them together just to make sure that everything is right side up, because it's very easy to get things upside down with this card and the way that it's folded. However, if you'd like to, you certainly can decorate the pieces before you put them together. You might want to follow that numbering that I used earlier in the video, and I have a copy of that if you go to my website, robinscraftroom.com, click on Tutorials, and look for Never Ending Cards. There is a sheet that shows the front and the back of each of the 4 pieces. Or you can wait until the end of this video and I'll show you a little bit more slowly and carefully how each of those pieces is numbered. Here again are all 4 pieces that we use to make the Never Ending card. I'd like you to focus especially on pieces 1 and 2. If you look at how I've numbered 1 in the front, I've also put a 1F in each of the bottom corners upside down. That's because those corners appear by themselves in the card and they're upside down relative to the main part of the card. Let's go through the card and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here's the front. We're going to open it up and open it up here, and you'll see that the corners of pieces 1 and 2 show separately without the middle part of pieces 1 and 2. These 2 pieces become even more complicated. When you turn them over, you'll see that pieces 1 and 2 on the back are in the opposite direction from pieces 1 and 2 on the front. So if you're going to decorate your card before you put it together, I would suggest lightly writing 1 and 2 front and back, especially on these 2 pieces, because they're going to show differently in the card. Pieces 3 and 4 always are shown with the tops and the bottoms. On the back, I've numbered them a little bit towards the inside because you'll recall, if we go back to the beginning, you have 3 and 4 front, and 3 and 4 in the back appear by themselves over on the side. So you may want to decorate those pieces differently or not. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation of Robin's Craft Room Never Ending Card.